I'm going to introduce Debbie. Debbie's on Alexa. All you have to do is turn around and go, Alexa, open Debbie's desk.
Excuse the mess on my desk. I'm just having a sort out. It's great to see you again. Are you here to give feedback, or would you like to hear about what I can do?
Introduce yourself.
Hi everyone. It's fab to see you all. It's been great working on People Hub 1. My son's been on the program, and he's really benefited, so I can't wait to get started on the next stage. But for now, I'm gasping for a cuppa, so I'll pass you back to my lovely HI9 colleagues. Let's chat soon.
To introduce myself, my name's Woe King, CEO, founder of a Cornish artificial intelligence company called HI9, and we're based in the Fibre Park in Poole in Campbell. So what HI9 does is that we use artificial intelligence to enable people to access services, anywhere from national to local government services. It's a revolutionary, never been done before this way. Our clients aren't the council, aren't the government. Our clients are, if you think about it, homeless people, people needing access to services, and the general public. The background of HI9 is that I always try and do 10% of my work in community space, and I've been in tech for decades. And I help run a what's called a hack space in Penzance, which is basically like a geeks clubhouse, and we show people how to use electronics and computers and such like. And I went to the local schools and I got all their old computers and we ripped them apart. And what I wanted is for people to come in and learn to build your own computer. So I did that, and then we had a list of like 200 people, and mainly it was people on benefits who were being told they needed to get online to access these services. And it really intrigued me, and I started to go, how many other people are there out there? And especially in Cornwall, because of remoteness when it comes to people who are from low incomes, they've got all these added challenges. So I started off my own dime doing user testing as a tech company in job centres, homeless shelters, all these different places where people were sort of, why is a tech company coming in and doing this? And I was going, there's got to be a solution to this, that tech can really help. And this is when what we see as AI was starting to come in, the new version of it that everyone talks about. So I then became part of Google Launchpad. Google were really supportive during this. And we started talking to the tech companies about this is when sort of the women in tech thing was taking off, about diversity. And I was coming in talking about socioeconomic. That the fact that tech wasn't addressing this side and was actually failing, what we call the last sort of 20%, the failure of technology trickle down. And so I wanted to concentrate on that bottom up, and how do you create tech in order to enable them to access the best services. And it was interacting with these people and doing user testing and really listening that bureaucracy was one of the biggest things. I couldn't do anything about getting these people more money. I can't do anything about getting these people more services. But what I found was bureaucracy was incredibly complicated, and I could do something about that. And AI is a great way to reduce that complexity. So this was about 8 years ago. I became obsessed, right? And my wife and family will testify to that. Put a huge amount of our own money into this, and time and effort. And about a couple of years ago, started trading, as now we say, as HI9. And we then developed a bot, which is called Debbie, which is sort of out in beta, which means she's out talking, but we're not massively publicizing her. We're just testing. And she's on WhatsApp, and she's on Facebook Messenger, and she's also on Alexa. And you can just, if you go to the website debbie.chat, you can see her. She's an important part of the team. We have linguists and creative writers that have created an emotionally immersive experience. So the fact that you can talk to her, there's a benefit estimator, you can ask questions about benefits, but also you can find out when your bins get collected. And more things are going to be added into this artificial intelligence, but it's done in a way that you really want to talk to her. I found that really important. And I give an example. I saw homeless people using Facebook Messenger and using the Wi-Fi of the local library in order to use it. I went, okay, what we need to do is put a bot in there that you can make a housing application with, right? This is revolutionary, never been done like this before, and it's coming from Cornwall. And we're not just talking about never been done in this country, it's never been done anywhere. And what we want to do is really revolutionize how these people can access services using artificial intelligence. The team is growing fast. We're part of a European social funded project called People Hub. Other partners are on board. This is an exciting time, and we're more and more going to be launching out, and we want to get to thousands. This is really exciting. So this is the first time we've actually talked about it publicly. But we created a model. So when you do artificial intelligence, you create models. This has taken the text from just the benefit part of the site, has gone over it. We started with the answers to make sure the answers are accurate. We then have a voice, and it's called Debbie. Debbie is 50 years old, comes from Camborne, has 2 children and a grandchild. Her favorite cake is strawberry cheesecake. Right? She is a persona. She is an important member of the team. And she then says what the answer is in her language on WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, and eventually Alexa and all other different devices. So you've got the answer from gov.uk summarized in a very clear way that is spoken by someone who sounds like a human being and not the government. That is incredibly revolutionary. It's the use of artificial intelligence, creative writers, linguists, all these people coming together to really understand what connects with people, but to get the best information, but in a way that you don't even need a web browser to do. You just talk to her and she will answer. And that is, trust me, revolutionary. If we get this right, and we're trying now on other parts of the gov.uk site, we could create an artificial intelligence that could summarize and speak in a human-type way all government information. This is just the start of a journey. And I don't know where it's going to lead. And it all started with me doing user testing in a job centre in Penzance all those years ago, and actually listening to these people. And it's got me to here. This is my dream, this is my FA Cup, this is my Christmas Day. This is what I dreamed of, and I've got a phenomenal team. There's 5 masters, PhD, really smart people. We really care about making Cornish of the place and of solving this issue with the use of technology. It's a simple idea. It's, if you type into Google, you and I, when I said about the failure of the trickle-down technology, you and I, you type food into Google, try that in Google Maps. You will see restaurants, coffee houses, McDonald's, fast food, all the different lists with imagery, reviews. You can even buy through the search results, right? With opening times, the most accurate information possible. You won't find food banks, right? That to me is terrible. Now, if you type into Google Maps and you type coffee or restaurant, you'll find answers. If you type in Google Maps in the Cornwall area, less than 20 results come up, and their information they've got is wrong. We know, because our chief data scientist has found hundreds of different source points, data points in Cornwall of people and organisations offering free meals. And there is less than 20, and they are wrong. What we're trying to do is create a Google for everyone else. Google does not concentrate on these people. They just create an information for you and I. What I am concentrating is on those people first. Now, we're not saying we're just going to do those people. Debbie will be bins, planning, lots of different things, right? But we're starting there first because they've been ignored so often. And so this is why I'm doing a walk. The walk is 100 miles in 6 days to raise enough money for 100 meals for this Easter. And we're putting it around the idea of setting an extra place. Hashtag extra place. So like you have family gathering, Christmas, Easter, and you set that extra place for a family or friend to come over. What we're asking is for people to set an extra place this Easter for someone who can't afford it. And this is what I'm going to be doing over the next 6 days. And I'm going to be walking through all the areas when people do a sponsored walk, they never usually think of. I'm going to be walking through the areas where the greatest concentration of food banks are. I'm going to be going out there and getting the data actually myself. But what I would like everyone to do is, one, donate. Please donate. If you go to debbie.chat, you'll see the link to the GoFundMe. All the money is going to go to food banks in order to pay for meals. We want to raise enough for 100. But also, if you've got a local food bank, please go to debbie.chat, which tells you what to do, is on the hashtag extra place. put on the image of the food bank and the information we ask, like address, opening times. We will get that information and create the best food bank database there is in the whole country. And we will keep it up to date, because that is our driver. It's not just we're going to do it once and that's it. We are going to drive to make the best information possible, the Google for everyone else. So please go to debbie.chat, please donate, please follow, please come on my walk. I'll be like, if you go to Chat to Debbie on any of the social media platforms, Instagram or Twitter, Chat to Debbie, I'll be posting up regularly. Please come along, say hi. I'd love to talk to you. I'm going all the way through lots sort of the centre, but all the areas, estates, areas with the greatest food bank densities, and actually listening, collating the information and understanding the users like I did all those years ago. And then using AI and the best technology out there to create the best database. And what we want to do is take this up to London and show the tech companies and go, look, you are missing millions of people. And what we're going to do is really force them, by being a success, to actually adopt the data that we are actually going to start creating and collecting. It's amazing. So I go up to Shoreditch in London, which is like the Silicon Valley of the UK. And you talked to these 24, 25-year-olds, right? And they're all making like delivery apps and the same sort of apps. They are not interested in this area. There's this thing in our tech industry where we turn around and go, you've got to solve a problem that you have. Well, that's a problem of a 24-year-old, right? Who is usually come from a nice middle-class background. What we're doing is solving real problems for people who usually don't have workshops, tech workshops, user testing. The tech companies just aren't bothering. They're just ignoring them. And that's why there's such a small, and you know, you get Google to around and go, their job is to make, you know, all knowledge searchable. Well, not all knowledge. We're talking about middle class and upper class people, access to knowledge, not anyone else's. And so our job is to do the exact opposite of that. The users are everything. We are nothing without them. I am always, the pandemic was terrible, the fact that I couldn't get to the users. And remember, this is for everyone. We're starting with them, then we go up, right? We're not starting the other way and going down. Is we want to make sure that everyone gets the best technology and the access to the best information. Now, what you do with that is then up to you. I'm not a savior. I'm not coming to save the world. All I'm doing is that all the services and all the great facilities that we have with the devices that we have, I want to make sure is with everyone, not just with 70 to 80% of people. And I'll give an example of how that manifests. I have seen many occasions of homeless and home application forms which says, what is your address? You're homeless. You don't have one. On the form, on all forms, there is a word address. For millions of people in this country, they don't have one. Already you've excluded them, right? So we use language of where do you live or where can you be contacted? I would like to really force the tech industry to get rid of that word, is to really start thinking and rethinking to make it more open and accessible to more people, technology. That just with the use of language, where it's being used, so for instance, we're in WhatsApp, right? How it's being used, the language that's being used, and what information sources and databases are being searched to really make sure it is for everyone. This is not, I'm not going out there as a savior complex. I'm going out there to really make sure they have the best like everyone else. We're part of a fantastic project called People Hub, European social funded with the council. There's a contact number. You can find it on peoplehub.info. You can talk to people. It's a really revolutionary way. So I'm going to introduce Debbie. Debbie's on Alexa. All you have to do is turn around and go, Alexa, open Debbie's desk.
Excuse the mess on my desk. I'm just having a sort out. It's great to see you again. Are you here to give feedback, or would you like to hear about what I can do?
Introduce yourself.
Hi everyone. It's fab to see you all. It's been great working on People Hub 1. My son's been on the program, and he's really benefited, so I can't wait to get started on the next stage. But for now, I'm gasping for a cuppa, so I'll pass you back to my lovely HI9 colleagues. Let's chat soon.
Exit. Now, this is important. The linguist that we've used comes from Cornwall. She has made sure that Debbie says mousehole and not mousehole. Debbie also knows which way jam goes. Debbie is of the place. She comes from Camborne, and that's really important. I don't really notice there's some little intonations in the tone that have a slight Cornish, and we're going to be increasing that she has more and more of a language when it comes to that. Now, of course, that's on Alexa. That's her voice, but you can get it on WhatsApp, right? And if you go to debbie.chat, you can see the links. You can get it on Facebook Messenger. And again, the text she comes back sounds a bit more Cornish, right? Sounds of the place. So we have this sort of joke here that Debbie, with that AI that started to crawl over the gov.uk site, is that she technically became self-aware last Friday. And if anyone's ever seen Terminator, it is that Skynet on one day became self-aware and took over the world. Well, Debbie's became self-aware. And what people might not realise that it's a 50-year-old from Camborne with 2 children who is going to be our AI overlord. I think that's a bit different from Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I think that's much more fun. And we're going to see what does Debbie do in the next few weeks, months, and years. She's just going to grow and get better, and her concentration is on the user. The clients are not the government and not the council. The clients are the user.